What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Roy.
And it's your girl Ray Sean.
And we here. We finna do this review of this movie we just watched on Netflix. It was the When They See Us, the Docuseries about the Central Park 5. And we just watched it. We want to give our review about it.
Yeah, because the movie is real powerful. Real powerful.
Okay.
And the movie been on my heart a lot. Especially one of the characters that was played in the series, which was Corey Wise. So we really wanted to make a video because it touched home with us because we have a son as well.
Right. Yeah, the story of the Central Park 5, these 5 young black kids from Harlem, New York, had got caught up in a rape case.
Of a white woman. In '89, but they was innocent, but they was coerced by the police to say they did it, and they ended up going to jail, and the dude who actually did the crime confessed years later. But the reason why I'm so stuck on the character Corey Wise is because Corey really didn't have anything to do with it. He was actually there for his friend. He was there. You know, he went with his friend because he said that if he didn't go with him, his mama would have killed him. So he went with his friend, and actually, when they couldn't get one of the guys, they brought him in. And when they brought him in, they forced him to say that, you know, he raped the lady, and he, you know, that was his first rape and his last rape, you know, which was crazy because he was just there with his friend.
And what's the crazy part about it all is that they got convicted with no physical evidence, no DNA, just off of a confession alone.
And then what was crazy was how the guy that actually did the rape, he was the East Side raper, right?
Yeah.
So he was raping women, and right before they actually had their, you know, case, they were, you know, questioned, he had just been arrested for confessing to all of those rapes. So that was real crazy how, you know, they didn't
put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, you know,
about that one.
They already had his DNA, so it's like, you know, he's raping all these women across the city. So, you know, why not test his you
ask
know,
him about that one. They ain't even asked him. They ain't even question him about that one.
Not at all. But what really, my main thing out of the whole movie I took was for Corey Wise. It was crazy how
he got it the worst.
He basically got it the worst because he was 16 years old in a prison system, like with grown men. Like the other ones went to juvenile, but he was in the prison. And what really touched me on that, like I was telling my husband, was he was brutally beaten, you know, where he had to be in solitary confinement just so he wouldn't have to deal with getting beat so bad. We talking about a scrawny little 16-year-old getting beat by men because he's a level 3 classified rapist. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the part that really got me too, when the boy daddy, Antron, his daddy made him say he did it. And that was crazy as hell. And then it was just, I couldn't just bring myself to tell my child to do something that they didn't do, to confess to it. That's crazy. And then it killed him in the end because after that, he started going downhill. His health started failing, and it was he needed his son in the end.
It was crazy though because like they threatened his job and asked him did his people know that he was arrested, and you know
ain't no amount of money or no job worth me turning on my son, make my son give himself up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And from what I seen, ain't no way in West Hell I would have just sat there and just went for that. It like they just accepted. The only one that didn't really just accept it was the boy Yusef. His mama didn't accept that. She shut that shit down quick when they tried to question him. He the only one that didn't have a videotape confession, but he got convicted because how they did Corey Wise had him saying what everybody else did, and it was just crazy.
And then they said the boy Kevin
the reason why his face was messed up was because the woman was fighting him off, but actually in reality it was because the policeman hit him in the face with the helmet. Yeah. So that's the reason why his face was like all.
I'm talking about a little boy. He 14, looked like he weighed like 80 pounds. Lightweight and getting slammed up like that.
Slammed him down and tore his face up, but the prosecutor, they had no case at all.
And all the boys that went to juvenile, all of them got out before Corey. Corey stayed in.
No, Corey and it was another one.
Who?
Corey was still in jail, and then I want to say it was it the dude Mike?
Kevin got out. Kevin was the last one to get out before Corey.
Yeah,
Raymond got out.
Yeah.
Antron got out.
And Yusef got out. So it was those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Corey was the last one because Corey got the most time because he was the oldest.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why he was still in jail when all of that happened. But then the crazy part about it was, what I was confused about in the movie at first was when they all got out. I thought, they had got out because of that, but they had got out because they had served the time that they were given for the crime. But when they got out, they were still registered as sex offenders. Right. Couldn't get job. It was crazy because you done already took their life from them. Then on top of taking their life from them, when they come back out, they still don't have a chance in society because
you got them labeled as a felon.
You got them labeled as a predator. So
nobody want to hire no felon or no predator. You can't vote. You can't go. You can't live in certain areas. Like if it's a school within a certain amount of miles, you can't live.
And then like Raymond, he actually tried to go out looking for a job to get a job, but couldn't get no job because nobody would want to hire.
Check that box.
Nobody wanted to hire.
A felon or a registered sex offender. You check that box. Most likely you ain't gonna get the job.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was crazy. But at the end, even though they were
they want a
found guilty and want a settlement and everything, still at the end of the day, people are still going to think what they want to think. They have a chance in society because most of them are successful. Unlike Corey Wise, just like I say, he touched a soft spot because now he has no education. He didn't have an education at first because he wasn't even really going to school. But then on top of him being in prison,
he was kind of thrown off like he was slow.
Mm-hmm.
That would seem like to me the way he talked, like he was slow.
But that was from not having a proper education because he wasn't in school. Just like his brother became his sister.
His mama was
mama was selling dope out the house, so the mama didn't even really care if he was going to school or not. But I do have to give it to the mamas. The mamas stuck by him, regardless of the situation, regardless of what happened, the mama stuck by him. And then Raymond, he didn't have his mom.
His daddy stuck by him.
His daddy stuck by him the whole time. Even when he went back to prison, his daddy said, when you get out, you can try again. So commend that because you don't find too many people regardless. Even though during the trial his daddy didn't come, his daddy stopped coming, but at the end of the day his daddy had his back regardless.
Yeah, because he said his daddy told him he knew what the outcome was, so he wasn't coming no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's
because
crazy.
At the end of the day they ain't had no shot. I mean, they had already confessed that they had did something and then told on each other and didn't. That was the crazy part. They told on each other and didn't even know each other. They didn't know each other. I mean,
the only two that knew each other was
Corey and Yusef. Those were the only two that knew each other. So that baffled me how these policemen got these kids to lie on each other and they didn't even know each other because when they all went to the holding cell, they basically introduced themselves. Like, you Kevin? Oh, I lied on you. And it's
I'm sorry I lied on you. Yeah, I'm going to put me down.
Then they promised them that they was going to go home. That's the reason why most of them confessed and signed and shipped them right on off. But at the end of the day, like I say, I'm not going to say my favorite person, but the person that touched me the most, that made me cry throughout, like, the whole, like, I envision him as a child in an adult system. The child that they had to play Corey did excellent. because you see the pure terror on this child's face, and you can only imagine him in reality. You know, it was crazy. Dudes jumping on him, COs letting them. I mean, it was crazy. It was like,
he was a good actor.
This child was just wondering how can I survive this, to where he would go into solitary confinement
and
because they was gonna kill him.
And then it went crazy in solitary confinement. Got to talking to himself, seeing ghosts.
Yep, but that CO brought him books.
The white boy, yeah.
Talked to him, got him a job and everything. But he kept trying to get closer to his mom, so he kept putting in transfers,
and they kept
pushing him further back. At the end, I think he was like 355 miles away from Harlem. So it was like, it was crazy.
He started out 10, 15 minutes from the house.
And every time they moved him to a new system, it would be a new group of people that would beat him up. First scene, 2 dudes drug him in a room, beat him up. Second scene, white guys jumped him, you know, because they say he raped a white woman. But the part that really got me was when they stabbed him up. It was like 5 or 6 of them on him. And the CO seen him, and he holding on to the bars, you know, trying to get help. And the CO taking his hand off the bars so the people can brutalize him. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. The part that really almost broke me down when Raymond came home and his daddy seen him and started hugging him. That part almost broke me down.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got to be, you know, regardless of anything, at the end of the day, that's their kids. And I have to give it to the parents. The parents held them down. Kevin, his people, sisters came, cousins came, mama came. His visitation was lit. They had about 6, 7 people every time. So, I mean, it's just crazy. But, you know, things happen. But all I say is, I have a son, and I'm gonna try to do everything I can, you know, to protect him from this cruel world. Because at the end of the day, if they can get you, they gonna get you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. But that was just our opinion on the movie. We wanted to share our opinion because, you know, we really felt some type of way about that movie. That movie really touched us.
It's been a long time coming for that movie because like I said, that happened in '89, and they just not bringing the actual facts to life about what really went down. I mean, people know the story and know what really went down, but they didn't know the actual facts. And this docuseries was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. It's a big thumbs up. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it.
Most definitely.
Well, we out. It was nice talking to y'all, and we about this thing.
Peace.
Subscribe and follow us. Don't forget to hit that like button. We lit.
Don't try to infiltrate the people that be thinking murder.